Okay.
Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.
You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm Alana.
And I'm Kelsey.
The cryptics? The cryptic
I think
codex?
you did that once before. It's funny.
It's a tough one. Definitely when they do the speech to text thing where they transcribe us on Spotify. Sometimes I read it and I'm like, oh gosh. That wasn't exactly what we said, but that's okay.
Gordo, get in your box. Stay in there.
I hear
Nope.
Adam Sandler, get in your home! No. Oh my gosh. Well, welcome, Gordo, to episode 184, where you should stay in your box. I'm sorry. It's been a hell of a time here.
Ugh. So annoying.
He's been very interested in like being our producer these last couple episodes. He just has to be like really involved.
Right? Yeah.
But that's we'll get to some cool pets and how their basic involvement and the way they glom onto you helps sometimes solve a true crime case.
Yeah, I think we both have a couple fun ones. Well, not fun because it's still true crime, but
I like a fun solve though. Yeah, it's an unexpected. How did we do this? Yeah, so we were going to do some there's definitely some crimes that are solved through different means nowadays, whether it's genetic genealogy or random evidence that they find, and sometimes it's evidence that comes through the most unlikely of witnesses, whether it be children or animals or that kind of thing. Yeah, it's like, what do they call the recording? Unsolved something. Who knows? But I have no idea which ones you have for me today, so I'm excited. I don't know what else to say. We're getting this one out as soon as we can because we're recording it later than we would usually like to. So maybe I seem like I'm going through it a little fast. Oh well.
Right.
Life gets away. We were just talking about how work be crazy. So that's to summarize it for you all. Work be crazy, life be crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just, for me,
can't wait for the summer.
Yeah, for me, it's been just car shit and whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for summer too. I'm excited for your stories.
Oh,
wow, corny. What's wrong with me?
Oh, shucks.
Oh, shucks. Gather round, y'all. She's got a story for us.
Yeah. I got this from Listverse.
Ooh, yeah, I was excited because I love Listverse.
Yeah, they had an article that was titled 10 Times Animals Help to Solve Crimes. And I picked a couple, well, not a couple, I think 3 of them to share with you.
Okay, interesting. Because I remember one of the list verses that come up when I was Googling stuff for this app. I was unsure if it was the same one you had, so I avoided it. But I think that one was more 10 pieces or 10 or something like unusual evidences a receipt from KFC. It was like different like pieces of evidence.
Oh, yeah.
But like I was like, I better avoid it because it was. I know you were doing something from list first. That's so funny. I love
Yeah,
a good listicle though.
I do. This one was funny, and I can't
Yeah.
remember what episode it was that I stumbled on it. Because I had it saved
Oh.
in like future episode ideas. I
Oh
had this
right.
article saved, so at some point past me was like, "This will be important. Save this."
I know. I don't have
So
like a master list like that where I hear a lot of other people do where they're like, "Oh, I've had that on my list for a while of topics." And I was like, I have like random post-it
yeah,
notes, but no
yeah,
major
you
like
have just
master
post-it
list.
notes all over
Yeah.
your house. I have a Word document that I can add to or delete as needed.
Oh my god. Okay, I do have kind of topics now that I have that binder where I have some Patreon and stuff ideas. I guess I do have anyway. I'm trying.
I just can't stand if something's gonna be like a long term like
Mhm.
list or anything like that, I don't
Yeah.
like it to be physical because it just takes too long. I only like to have physical things that are like, oh, this week I'm gonna do these
Yeah.
10 things, or like these
It
couple
is very
days I'm gonna do
satisfying to
all
like
these
rip it
things
off when it's done and then just like
and
throw
just
it
chuck
out.
it in the garbage.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can't have anything written down physically that's gonna be long term because then it's just like, oh, that's still on the list. Gotta be able to delete it. So I
That's
pretend it
true.
was
It
never
can be
there.
almost like demotivational. Like
Yeah,
I don't know if that
absolutely.
I don't know if that's a word, but we used to buy the demotivational calendar from Think Geek, so that's where it came to me.
Yeah, I feel like it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all have their ways to deal with like having our own little to-do lists and making it not overwhelm our brains, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Well, the ones I have for you, the first one is I have a couple that are about birds. Um,
Yay!
my first one,
They're not
bird,
real, but
bird,
okay.
bird is the word.
Just kidding.
Birds aren't real. They're a figment. No, they're not a figment of your imagination. They're robots, right?
Oh,
That's what
right,
that
that's
is.
it.
They're robots. Um, yeah. So this is all from List Verse. Says eyewitness test. Yeah, eyewitness testimony is often crucial when it comes to solving a crime. In this instance, the eyewitness in question was a 20-year-old African gray parrot named Bud. I like it. Bud. Yeah.
Bud. Okay, this sounds a little familiar. I'm excited. I like Bud already.
Um, There's several weeks after the 2015 murder of a Sand Lake, Michigan resident named Martin Durham. It was after this that Bud began repeating an argument between two people. And the argument ended in what was believed to be Durham's last words, when the parrot repeated the phrase, "Don't fucking shoot." Which I thought
No.
was, yeah, not to laugh about that, but I mean, that my parents had birds, and their friend, I think, had a parrot that would talk, and
Oh,
when they were
really? Oh
younger,
no, I never had any of
they
those
liked
birds.
teaching it swear words. I think they told me. We would just like
Apparently, it
making
doesn't
it swear.
take much to
No,
teach
just
them.
it's like kids, just a few times, and
Yeah,
then they're
yeah,
good.
yeah. Oh
Uh,
God.
they'll remember it forever. Say it at the worst possible times.
Yes, I know you do. You're not trying to teach kids those things, and then they pick them up. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the parrot would say, "Don't fucking shoot," and I guess mimicking the late owner's voice at the time. And it turned out that Martin's wife, Glenna Durham, ended up being the one. She had shot her husband 5 times, and she had done this in front of Bud before turning the gun on herself in what was described as a failed suicide attempt.
Right.
And yeah, I guess she survived, but she suffered a massive head wound because of the gunshot. And she was ultimately convicted of first-degree murder in the killing of her husband after an 8-hour jury deliberation.
I'm
So
only not surprised because that did come up, and I didn't know that
yeah,
was one
this
you're
one's
covering,
pretty
but that's
popular.
crazy. It's like,
Yeah,
wait, like murder, suicide staged, and then it goes awry, it goes sideways, and
yeah,
Bud is the only witness. Like that's, oh my
yeah.
god, it's so dramatic. I love
Uh,
it.
yeah, I guess Bud's eyewitness account wasn't ultimately used in court proceeding, but for many of the people involved in the
Yeah.
case, it proved that the jury had come to the right decision, um, which I get. I mean, they can always take whatever a parrot's saying as proof. They do need scientific evidence as well. Uh,
Yes. Yeah, it's tough. It's one of those where there's a lot of evidence that is considered circumstantial, but um yeah, from what I had seen there was more to it as well, that more circumstantial stuff which made you go, "Oh, okay." you know.
yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I have that in like the article thing. I can skim after.
Mm.
Um Durham's parents were sure that the salty-mouthed bird had overheard the couple arguing and repeating their final words, and his mother asserted, quote, "That bird picks up anything or everything and anything, and it's got the filthiest mouth around." Which I thought was funny. You're
I
like,
so
yeah.
believe that. I heard of the parrots at the some zoo in the UK where they were like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so filthy that the little kids coming in their enclosure, they're like, we have to do something about these birds. They repeat all the swear words.
Yeah.
You're like, well, those birds know how to have a good time. No, I don't know. It's funny though. Sorry.
Just skimming the article here, which I didn't have time to do. See if there's anything.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, through the case, Fox. Oh, this was like so stupid. I hate even using them as in a source. It was Fox News. I was like, ugh, I don't even want to give you a click and go to your website. Ugh.
Oh, really? Okay. What did they say? What did they say? I'll see if that came up in my perusing
It
stuff.
said it said through the case, Fox obtained documents that showed a history of gambling between the couple, and that
Uh-huh.
Marty had learned that his house was in foreclosure about a month before his murder, and that the
Mm-hmm.
wife Glenna had been Marty's longtime caregiver after he was seriously hurt in an accident.
Yes, that came up
Yeah.
also when I looked into it. Like he had a car accident, and so she like he had some damage to his body, the one side of it, and so she was caring for him, but she seemed to have the gambling problem, and he was more the
That makes sense. Yeah, if he's probably
yeah.
having to be less mobile,
And
and
she's paying all the
yeah, that really
bills and
sucks.
stuff and getting more for being the caregiver than for being the disabled person or whatever, and so
Yeah.
yeah, I guess she kind of fucked that up, which is scary. Like you can't really have just one person do the bills and know for sure that they're not going to fuck you over. You got to be
Right? You
open
should
and have
at least know what's
access.
going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
If only so that when the other
Yeah.
person dies, like we see so many seniors, sorry, but it's true. Like
Yep.
at my job where they're like, well, we, had our membership with you guys forever for our insurance, our vehicles, whatever. And they're like, and then their husband or wife passes away and they're like, oh, they used to do everything and I don't know how to do anything. And you're like, well, that's not good.
Yeah. I mean, my grandma had that
Yeah.
when her husband passed away, her second husband. He
Mm,
passed away, and then what did the bank say? Oh, she was trying to get like the bank account switched to her name
okay.
or utilities or something. Maybe it was utilities. It was something that like shouldn't have been that hard. And they kept saying like, "Oh, well, we need his authorization." And she kept being like, "Well,
Ugh.
he's fucking dead." Like, And they'd be like, well,
Right?
we need his signature. We need his permission, all this stuff. And she finally, like,
Oh
after
my
working for
god.
months with these people, like dozens of different people being like, he is dead. Nope, you can't talk to him. He is dead.
That's
Like,
insane.
um, she finally, like, asked to talk to, it was probably like the manager or something like that, like one
Mm-hmm.
of the highest up people that she could get in touch with, and they too were like, oh no, we'll need to talk to him. So then she finally
Jesus
lost it, and my grandma
Christ.
loved telling us, she literally yelled at them, well, how about you go to fucking Home Depot and buy you and I a shovel, and we'll go out to the fucking cemetery and we'll dig up his body then, and then you can see that he's dead. Like, what do you
Play
want?
me
And then they went,
Stairway to Heaven, bitch, because you ain't getting to him any other way. Well, that's so
yeah, right?
triggering,
And
though.
it was so
Like,
stupid because the
ugh.
manager went, oh, he's dead? Okay, no problem. You just need to provide the death certificate. It was like, what has she been saying for months? That he's dead. Like,
Seriously.
so you guys
Oh,
aren't listening to what they're saying. You're just repeating. You're just repeating yourselves, but you're not actually listening to what they're saying. Because as soon as you understand he's dead, which she's been saying
that's
to you dozens of times, you just say,
sounds
oh, well, we need
exceptionally
this.
frustrating. Home
It was like, are you
Depot? Or
kidding
wait.
me?
Yeah, like for
Yeah,
some
like, go there and
things.
buy us a shovel, and then I'll drive you out to his plot, and you can help me bury, like, dig him up.
Well, having
Like,
worked for a company
Jesus.
that does multiple things like that, it's like, okay, for travel or a membership
Yeah.
to the company, like you're not going to have a death certificate, but to cancel them off, like say the vehicle's registration or something more like that,
Yeah.
maybe you have to. Like that I would understand. But
Insurance,
like,
we did. Insurance, we had to have a
yeah,
death certificate and all that kind of
they're
stuff, and then we
yeah,
needed
they're more
to know that they had
formal.
authorization.
Right. It's
Um,
more for the legal part of it. But like for yeah, for like being like, I don't
yeah.
want to have like it's basically like canceling a Costco membership or something. You know what I mean? It's like for some of that stuff, you're like, you shouldn't
Yeah.
have to have it for like canceling a membership. Oh my god,
But yeah. And
that's
I've been
crazy.
hearing that story like my entire life, so I was like, no, I'm never. I may hate adulting at sometimes, but I will never let myself be in a position where I am that
Mm.
reliant on somebody. But I mean, my grandma
It's
wasn't
just
intentionally doing it because that was the
yeah.
times that she was living in. That's what they
No, it
did,
just happens
right?
sometimes. It's just sad when the
So
one spouse is left behind and they don't really aren't capable of doing something because the other spouse handled everything. They handled
yeah,
it all.
right.
Yeah.
It's in their names, the bank account's in their name, and they're trying and people aren't
Yeah.
listening to them. It's like, really?
And they never did
Shit.
anything with it because the other person always handled it. It's just, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Um, yeah, so that was my first one. My next one
I'll try not to turn it into a
is
rant. No.
my next one's about a duck. Duck.
Oh shit. Duck, duck, go. No.
No, I have. I guess it would be like bird, duck, bird. I think my last one's also a bird. I was like, oh yeah, it is. My
That's
last
fine.
one's a bird. This one's a duck. Uh,
And the last one was the bird. Okay, yeah, it was the bird, the
yeah,
cockatoo.
I have two birds and a duck.
Oh shit. Okay, I
Uh,
definitely don't know the duck story. I love it. I can't wait. What is the fuck? What the fuck is this duck?
this one, yeah, if I had more time, I definitely would like to have tried to look up more for this one.
Oh yeah. I know they don't live a lot in little in a listicle. Sometimes you're like, what the hell? Like I'll be like, I look up a little bit and there's just like so much more information. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah. So the list first article said a pet duck recently led police in North Carolina to the decomposed body of a missing 92-year-old grandmother, Nellie Sullivan. uh,
Whoa. A
yeah, I was just like,
duck.
what? A duck. Sergeant Mark
Okay.
Walker of the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office
I want that to be the
explained how,
duck's name.
quote,
No.
no.
I'm sorry.
um,
Okay.
Does the duck have a name? Hold on. I'm trying to see.
Mark
I
Walker,
don't know.
played by Mark Wahlberg. No.
No.
Give me
But
that
it was
duck,
a
yo.
pet duck.
It was a pet?
It was.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a pet duck.
Okay.
Okay, so Sergeant Mark Walker of the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office explained how, quote, the duck ran underneath the trailer at 11 Beady-Eyed Lane. Which is... The article says
Beady-eyed?
Beady-Eyed Lane. And the article just says, you can't make these up. These things up. It's like, yes, you can't make up the name Beady-Eyed Lane.
Almost seems like you are making it up, article. I'm so
Right?
suspicious. Beady-eyed.
Yeah,
That's
Beady-Eyed
crazy.
Lane. As they were chasing after their pet duck, they ran across the container that Nellie Sullivan was located in.
Nellie.
Even before the grim discovery of the remains, Nellie's own granddaughter, Angela Walmsley, and her boyfriend, Mark Burns, had been charged with concealing her death, along with charges of animal cruelty and drug possession.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sergeant Walker described the initial search for Nellie as being a wild goose chase. Oh, not a wild duck chase. Or a pet duck chase.
Oh, no. I'm sure he regrets that choice of words now.
Right? I don't know when he said that. Nothing turned up after numerous local searches, and Nellie's neighbors had insisted that she had in fact gone missing several years prior. So she had
What?
already been missing for years.
Like, really, though?
Yes, hello. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That last one got me.
Gordo?
Yeah.
Hey, you can't scratch. For fuck's sakes, buddy.
Sorry.
Yeah, she had been missing for several years, and Walmsley and Barnes had been collecting Nellie's social security and her retirement benefit check, as well as refilling her prescriptions in her absence.
Oh my god, that's diabolical. You don't need those
Yeah,
prescriptions. Like, unless they're selling them, which is even worse. They're
I
just trying
think
to keep up
so.
the
They must have
ruse.
been. They must have been for something good. I mean,
Well,
she was 92. She's
yeah.
probably getting the good stuff.
Yeah, sure. Who knows? Oh, man.
And the Sergeant Walker guy, the little list verse blurb about it ended with Sergeant Walker saying, quote, if I could give that duck a medal, I would. Because it was
Oh.
like, I don't know who the owner of the duck was. I think it was just some random person, and they were like, they were running after their pet duck, and their pet duck like went under the trailer, and that's when they ran across the dead body. So it wasn't the granddaughter of the
Right.
family's pet duck. I'm pretty sure it was a random person's pet duck, an unnamed random person. It's like, oh,
I
cool.
just love anyone having a pet random duck. It does remind me of a book series I read where they have
Right?
a little old lady named Ruth, and she has a pet duck named Rosa. And
Aw.
Ruth swears so much that they're never sure who's saying fuck fuck fuck, if it's her or the duck.
Damn.
It's great. It's the one that has a police chief from Quebec. I'll think of the name of the lady here. Louise Penny. She writes those books. They're very
Yeah.
good. Very, very good. She calls the chief inspector's son-in-law. She calls him like cocksucker or something terrible. And that's like the only
Oh,
person.
wow.
So you always know who she's talking to. It's great. They're very believable characters, just like Stephen King, you know. Sorry.
I'm just skimming the article they had. Yeah, so Nellie Sullivan, who would have been 93 if she was still alive, had disappeared sometime in 2020, and she had disappeared without a trace. And her granddaughter, Angela Wamsby. Sorry, for some reason, if I hear granddaughter, I'm not imagining somebody who's 46. But I guess she was.
Oh.
I was like, oh.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they believe that she had been dead for some time when they found her remains, and that the suspects had already been under investigation in connection to her death since December of 2020. So, like, they were already trying to investigate them. They just didn't really have any proof because they didn't have her remains at that time. So they just figured that, like, they were somehow involved with a disappearance, maybe.
Right. Oof.
Yeah. And then they also had been charged with concealing a death. Yeah. But yeah, just the fact that it's the trailer at 11 Beady-Eyed Lane is crazy.
I still think you're shitting me with
Yeah.
that.
No, it
So
literally
crazy.
says it. And that's two different articles that, well, I guess the one article was the source of the list first article, so.
Right.
But that's from the sergeant of Buncombe County Sheriff.
And where is this again overall? What country? I
Um,
already forgot.
This
I'm
is
so
in the
sorry.
U.S. It was.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking up the state. North Carolina. North Carolina.
Damn, I would usually put that down to geography in like England or something where we have some weird names. So, but then again, there's a lot of names in Canada and North America that are from the British influence. But that's, yeah, I've never heard of any of this. It's completely new to me, I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the time this article was done, they hadn't been charged or hadn't been like sentenced to anything. It said that the official cause of death would be released by the medical examiner's office when they have completed their independent probe. That they had been cashing her social security and retirement benefit checks in her absence and filling her prescriptions. I said that already.
Right.
And that their next court date would be set for May. And it's not clear if they've entered pleas. I think this
May
must
of this year?
must have been at. No, it would have been at least May of last year.
Oh, okay. Still really recent.
Yeah, because it said she had been. Oh, this says this article was originally done May 2nd of 2022.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I think if you looked it up specifically, there might be more now. But
that's about when I got this damn car that I'm replacing the
Yeah.
battery on. That's funny. Crazy. I don't know. That was good though. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. My last one is also pretty short.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
those
like,
have been
"Ooh."
pretty.
Yeah, it's so short for me.
Yeah, I didn't realize
I was
because we've
like,
been
"Oh."
talking for a little while now, but then I was like, oh yeah, I guess we've only been recording for
Like half an hour.
I suppose.
And I'm almost done. Yeah, so my third one is another bird. And there was so many birds on the list.
The
but
bird,
being like,
bird. The bird's the
bird.
word. Okay.
Yeah, it had that in the article. It was like
No!
it was like the bird is the bird, not even the word, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, the bird. Yeah, the birds are the bird or something. It was stupid. I was like, no. So this is about a man who lived in Texas named Kevin Butler, and he was apparently such a fan of the NBA player Larry Bird that he named this white-crested cockatoo after him. So he was he's a
Oh,
bird named Bird.
yes. Okay. Okay, that's too
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I may have had a little bit covering Bird the bird as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's just like our cat named Kitty. It's Bird.
Oh my
Uh,
god, yeah. Or I had a friend that had like a what was it, a rat named Cat? Or she liked to give them little kind of weird
uh,
names. Yeah.
my brother always said when he was younger, that when he grew up, he wanted to get a dog and name it Cat, and get a cat and name it Dog. I was like, oh, maybe I should ask him about that. Maybe he's forgotten now that he's married with 2 kids. That
No,
was
no,
his
I want to ask
overall
my
plan.
friend Jill because I swear she had the rat was maybe named Cat. I don't know.
That's
There was also
funny.
an animal named Whiskey, and it was all very cute.
Aw.
Oh, and I have a friend Angie we worked with her. She named her cat. Her name is Miss Mouse. Anyway,
Aw, that's pretty cute.
yeah.
Miss Mouse.
Sorry, I'm all over the place. I apologize.
Yeah. So Larry Bird. Friends described Bird as being very devoted to
Aww.
Kevin Butler, and this is even more evident after 2 men had broke into Butler's Pleasant Grove home on Christmas Eve 2001.
That's fucked. Christmas Eve.
I know, like, yeah,
Okay, bro.
awful thing to
Yeah.
do. Bird the bird loyally tried to defend his home and his owner, and unfortunately, Kevin Butler ended up being bound and then brutally beaten. He ended up being stabbed multiple times that led to his death.
Jesus.
Yeah, and
That's so fucked up.
Bird too was mortally wounded during the altercation. He was
Oh.
stabbed with a fork, which was like, fuck you. Why are you stabbing a bird with a fork? Yeah.
That bird was fucking him
Uh,
up.
it was.
Oh, yeah, that's
Uh,
rough.
after Afterward, the men escaped, but Bird ultimately saved the day and provided investigators with the evidence that they would need to solve the crime and secure a conviction. Following the attack, DNA was able to be recovered from Bird's beak and his claws that ended up matching to a man named Daniel Torres, a
Man.
disgruntled former employee at Butler's Pool Company.
Disgruntled
And
indeed. I'm gonna stick my bird on
right?
ya. Like, or no, sorry.
Torres also wiped the blood off his head after being badly pecked by Bird, and then had
Mm,
touched the light switch, which left a trace of his blood at the
okay.
crime scene, like the murder scene. So, I mean, his blood was there
Damn.
on Bird, and now also on the light switch, which put him there.
This bird pecked him up. Go
Yeah.
bird.
Faced with the
Damn.
evidence, Torres confessed to killing both Kevin Butler and Bird, and he was eventually convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. They were also able to track down Torres' accomplice, his half brother Johnny Cerna.
I think
And
I come across that too. Yeah. Cerna, Sema, something like that.
yeah. During the trial, the prosecutor submitted to the court that, quote, Bird died valiantly, almost said violently,
Oh,
valiantly.
he went to
There
Valhalla,
were,
the Valhalla of birds. He had the Viking
yes, I like to
bat
think
death.
so.
Well, he died in battle, defending. Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
yeah. That's an honorable death for sure.
said
Aw,
said there were feathers scattered throughout the house, and he put up a fight, no doubt about that.
that breaks my
And that
heart. Oh,
Kevin's family and coworkers have told me that you just didn't mess with Kevin while that bird was around.
wow.
Which, yeah, like what a loyal pet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, my parents used to have birds. They had two of them.
Really?
I can't remember what kind of birds they were.
Yeah, we never had any birds.
Yeah. Just trying to see if there's like anything else in this little article. Not really. Yeah, I don't see anything else in the article. So that's the end. The end. I take my bow. My shortest case ever, maybe 40 minutes.
Well, don't you worry that yeah, I think that will shorten mine a little bit. I was
Oh,
pretty sure we weren't doing exactly the same ones, but I knew you said list first, and I tried to avoid those ones, and then I was like, but I might Google animals who help solve crimes, and so then I ended up with some
yeah.
with like yeah, but more like there's dog hairs and cat hairs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so that stuff we have not heard about
Yeah.
yet. So okay, well, are we good to take a quick break then, or
Yeah, I think so.
okay, cool, because I gotta pee. Oh, all right.
There are over 200,000 unsolved homicides in the United States justice system right now. And many of those cases haven't seen the light of day in years, decades in some instances. The case files and evidence are sitting in a box on a dusty shelf in a basement, forgotten by law enforcement and the media, while the families and friends left behind wait for answers and fight for justice. Sometimes there is nobody left to remember or to speak up on behalf of the victim. I'm Arlene.
And I'm Leah. And that is exactly what Box in the Basement sets out to do: to shine a light on those forgotten victims and to bring attention to unsolved murders and disappearances. We want to help families tell their stories, and we want to assist the families and friends of victims find the resources and support they need to continue their fight for justice. Join us every Thursday for new episodes of Box in the Basement wherever you find your podcasts.
Sitting with my feet up. Everything.
And just chillax.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it should be kind of short. um, but all very gripping ones we found too. Like, I don't know, they're always
yeah.
especially when they're solved in a weird way. It's like watching forensic files. How are they going to figure it out?
Right? Yeah.
um, one of the other ones I found was the death of Shirley Duguay. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. It's kind of spelled Duguay, but
Oh,
that doesn't really sound right. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess this one kind of happened in my neck of the woods because I did grow up on the East Coast. And this one was in 1994, on Prince Edward Island. So I was like, oh, I was like 8 or 6. I can math. Um, but like it's weird, like when you go through a listicle and they don't give you a lot of information. It was like Shirley Duguay from Canada, and I was like, well, surely we can find out more specifically where she was from than just in Canada. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
At least if it
it bugs me with that.
gives you a name. I really hate the ones that don't even say a name, and you're like, well, good luck ever trying to find this with no
Oh
date,
yeah.
no location, and no name.
Yeah,
Anywhere in the
especially if it's a
world.
petty crime or something. I
Yeah, those
know.
ones can be really hard to keep trying to research.
Oh yeah, I know some petty crime podcasters that's the only types they cover, so they find there's not a lot
Yeah.
of like follow-up information. unless it's in Florida, because you know how their laws are. They're like, Florida man did this, and Florida man did that. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, this one, before I looked into it, it was just like from Canada, and I was like, well, where? Like, but
Yeah, cool.
turns out it was Prince Edward Island, and I was like, oh shit, like very small province
Yeah.
slash kind of community almost. It's like when you stumble upon something recently that was like Bjork was like, yeah, Iceland, I'm from a small place, it's like 300,000 something people, and I'm like, that's less than 500,000 people in your whole country. Like, no wonder you
Yeah.
have that kind of different like outlook. Anyway, Bjork's really fucking cool, I just want to say. The way she fights for like causes she believes in, I was like, wow. It's a really cool article, Nat Geo or whatever. Anyway, so this one is fairly sad because unfortunately the mother, Shirley, that went missing on October 3rd of 1994, was a mother of 5 when she vanished from her home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like they had like a combination, a modern family. What do they call it? You know, it's combined. Like she had
Like a
2
blended.
kids. Yeah, they're blended. Such a good movie. But yeah, she was in a relationship with Douglas Beamish, and I think he was the father of 3 of her kids. And so yeah, they had some combined kiddos.
Gordo.
He's like, I don't know if that picked up on the mic, but I heard him. He was like, meow, and then just like
Look at
bombarded
where
his
he's laying.
entire
He's like-
body. Just laid back between you and the mic, like, hello.
Yeah. He was doing this right before he started recording, and I was like, buddy, if you purr, you're gonna come in louder than me talking.
He's such a fucking diva.
Yes. It's like, how dare you pay attention to something other than me with your evening.
I mean,
Look
he
at
was
your
well
face.
named.
Look at his
He's
face.
what, named after the lead singer of a, a very famous Canadian band,
Tragically
the Tragically Hip. Oh, it's like, Gord, down, Downy. So stupid. Oh my god.
But
Also, nobody
accurate.
knows Canadian bands, I swear. I like listen to Handsome Pod where there's two of them are like American comedians and one of them's from Canada. So the one from Canada will be like, wait, you know Chantal Kreviatsik, right? Or something. And then she'll be like, Canadian band. And I'm like, wait, you don't know Chantal Kreviatsik? Or like,
I have no idea who that is.
really?
Yeah. Sitting over here like, apparently I'm not Canadian enough.
Well, no. But gosh, now all I can think of is more that she was married to another musician. But no, she had some hits. Now I feel bad because I can't think of them off the top of my head. Oh my god! Don't do this to me. It's so, she'll talk about someone, I'll be like, who? And then I'm like, oh yeah. No, she's, oh, no, that's not it. It's Chantel. It's Chantel Kreviatsik. That's it. It's a different one, but still. She's a Canadian singer-songwriter and performer. I thought she was married to the guy named Rain, but no, that's not it. I don't think that's the Our Lady Peace guy. Nope, maybe she is.
Yeah.
She sings Leaving on a Jet Plane from Armageddon. I mean, you gotta know that one. What?
I don't know so.
Leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back. Oh my god, I'm embarrassing myself. Okay.
No idea. Sorry.
Oh my god, Kelsey, that's so funny. Oh, it's actually, that's a pretty famous song. But okay. Shit, is it my turn to talk still? Oh my god. No!
It's Gordo's turn to purr. If you guys can hear that, like, background music or ambiance, it's just Our
Oh no,
backing
he
track
wasn't
is
purring
now
into
just
the murder.
Gordo.
No, he wasn't picking up on the mic.
No,
this time.
okay. I was like, oh, our backing track is just gonna be Gordo purring from now on.
Well, I would take that over the crickets that I was getting trying to recite stupid Chantal Crevias. It's okay. It's
My-
okay. We're like a decade apart almost.
my thought was just the broken fax machine sound. Just fax machine. Just nope, not working. It's not working.
Well, I had to look it up, and then once I was like, "Oh, leave it on a jet plane," I think that's what maybe she was one of the ones most famous for. But
Take your word for it.
I heard the purrs. Don't tell me you haven't seen Armageddon, because I will say you made me watch Shawshank.
I don't think I've seen Armageddon.
Oh my god!
Who's in it?
That's good. It's one with Bruce Willis. Steve Buscemi's in it. Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler are the. So Liv Tyler's love interest is Ben Affleck, and her father is Bruce Willis, and they both are miners that get. Oh, we gotta go. Someone's gotta like go mine the shit on the moon or whatever, so it doesn't explode on us.
No,
So
that doesn't ring a bell.
Oh my god. It was like during my formative years anyway. I think my dad might have had one of the soundtracks. He had some weird soundtracks. Ally McBeal was one of them. But we don't know about him. He watches Coronation Street, so who knows why I like these weird dramas that I do.
I mostly
love you,
watch
Dad. You don't listen.
Star
No.
Trek with my dad. Star Trek
Oh,
and
my
Power
dad loves
Rangers.
Star Trek too. He's a
Yeah.
Star Trek guy. Oh, totally.
I watched a lot of the like original Star Trek with my dad. I
Gordo
don't
keeps
remember a
trying to
lot of it
steal
because
the
I was
show now.
under the age of 10, but
I remember buying my
A lot
dad's
of
Star
Star
Trek
Trek.
books. Yeah. You like this? Yeah, no. Okay, so as we stand, it's 1994, October-ish. Shirley unfortunately goes missing. She's a mother. Excuse me. She is a mother of 5, I believe. Although it's a combination. They both brought the kiddos. Yeah. So on October 7th, 1994, a car was found abandoned on Highway 169, nice, near Tyne Valley in rural Prince Edward Island, with missing license plates and apparent blood spatter on the windshield and throughout the vehicle's interior. It was Shirley's car, and the RCMP was told, I think that should be were told, she hadn't been seen since the 3rd of October. So they hadn't exactly reported her missing, which...
Oh, strange.
I don't know. Yeah, that seemed a little weird. It seemed like there was some delay there. But of course there was suspicions immediately on her partner, Douglas, whatever. Especially after learning, or as maybe they had known when they looked into it, that he had a history of abuse with his ex-partners as well.
Oh, okay. Then they have reason to be suspicious.
Extra reason for sure. But for a while they couldn't find anything, and then so that was in October when she went missing, and by May of the following year, then a body was found in a shallow grave in the woods of North Enmore. It was Shirley, and she'd been bound with her hands behind her back and strangled.
Wow.
Yeah. So nearby there was a bag found containing a bloodstained jacket. And if I don't know, I looked into a couple sources for this, but the immediate source said it was found like 3 days after. But then every other source said it was found this many months after, like October to May. And so I was like,
Yeah.
I think they found the jacket when they found the body.
Probably, if they're like
Yeah.
in that area.
According to most of the sources, anyway. Yeah. They also found on the jacket and in the bag over 24 white cat hairs. So
Okay.
somebody's got an animal.
I know. God. You and I both know you can't leave the house without your pet's DNA on you. Like,
They're like a magnet sometimes. You put on like your
yeah.
clothes and you're like, bye. And he's like, wait, just let me come rub on you. And like Fenrir will,
Yeah.
Fenrir's not even a cat. Cats will rub up against you and scrape up
Yeah.
against you, as I've heard someone describe it as. But mine is just like, let me put my butt up against you. And then immediately everything black I'm wearing. Like when I got in your car the other day, I was like, I just put on these pants and they're covered in dog hair.
Yeah. Gordo likes to target my shoes.
Oh, yeah.
He can tell because I really only sit in the kitchen after I've gotten dressed for work. If I don't want to get covered in cat hair, I won't sit back down on the couch or anything after I've gotten dressed for work.
Yeah.
So I'll sit at the
Makes
kitchen
sense.
table and he will be like, oh, she's at the table. That must mean she's going to work. She's going to leave the house soon. He'll go over my shoes and he'll just lay right on top of my shoes so that my shoes are just covered in hair all the time. And he
It's deliberate, just the way he's looking at you
It's-
now. Like,
it's funny because anybody that comes into the house, he likes sandals. He likes to put his arms through sandals.
oh yes.
And he also likes to
That's
put
so
his
funny.
arms in shoes. So when my dad comes over,
Yes.
he'll take off like his shoes and Gordo will come running over and he'll be shoulder deep in the shoes and then he's sitting like the Sphinx, but he's just got his arms in shoes.
That I will never get. Okay, well I don't have a cat right now, but like the
Yeah.
way that my dog will want to lick my feet after I get home from like work or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, how is that not the most disgusting place you can
Gordo
be?
wants to smell my like dirty work hands before I wash them. I'm like, buddy, this is
Oh
that's
my
so much dirty
God.
money and everything. And he's like, oh,
Yes.
your hands smell weird. Let me smell them. I'm like,
No.
no.
The
No
way
way.
Fenrir, like, okay, well, first of all, he like barrels at me like I'm, a conquistador and he's a bull, and like I almost like
Yeah.
moved to the side today in such a way that he almost barreled into the bookshelf in the
Oh,
in the
wow.
office area because I kind of moved that way in the hallway. I was like, oh shit, buddy, sorry, but like, yeah, it's oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's just stupid. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he'll like almost like sniff my breath when I come home. Gets right up in my
Yep.
face and I'm like, what are you sniffing for, officer? Well, just you probably see what you've eaten. I think, I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah. My other cat
Cute,
used
though.
to do that. Bailey. After I
Oh,
ate, she
really?
would get right up in there. If you held your mouth open, she would put her head in your mouth, just trying to
Oh
smell
my
your breath.
God.
She would go that deep. It was just like, oh.
The fucking hint that
Yeah.
you have food or something. I'm like, dude, I'm not eating anymore. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm chewing gum or something. And the way like my dog was staring at me yesterday, I'm like, I'm not even eating anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
If I'm
Oh
drinking
my
out of a
God.
straw, Gordo tries to sniff it and be like, what's this? I'm like, you don't even know how to use a straw.
For
Like,
me?
get out of here. Yeah.
So in this case, there was an investigator named Roger Savoy that recalled seeing a white cat in Douglas's home. So when they found the white cat hairs, he was like, and what made me like laugh was they tested the hairs to see if they were from the cat called Snowball, which I was like, that's the name of the cat
Of
in
course.
The Simpsons. Yeah. Even though he's like, they're like black, and here they're like white. So anyway. But this being like 94, this was so totally new to them. They were like, we've tested human DNA, but we have not had to test cat blood against cat hairs that are found on a victim's like body or in a crime scene or whatever.
Yeah.
As
I'm like,
Casey is
speaking of
finding them in
cat
her
hair,
mouth.
there's just cat hair all over. I went to take a drink and I was like, oh, there's cat hair on my face. There's cat hair on the edge of my glass.
sometimes shit do stick.
Buddy, you're getting everywhere.
So I have a quote. After contacting the Laboratory of Genomic Diversity, a laboratory specializing in the study of genetic diseases rather than in forensics, detectives and scientists were able to develop a method to test the feline DNA. The test included a fail-safe method of randomly testing 20 other cats from the isolated Prince Edward Island.
Yeah. Like they didn't even know how to do this yet, and they were trying to do it.
In 94? Fuck no. They're like, okay, we'll do that in order to establish the degree of, I guess, genetic diversity among the cats in the area, to rule out the possibility that the hairs found in the jacket came from a close relative of Snowball. Which is like,
so like people. I'm sure that's what they did with people at the very beginning.
Right, like if you don't have the DNA to test against, you can't rule it out. So they kind of had to like improvise in this case.
You got to figure out how much each person's DNA varies.
Yeah, because we're not going to have a catabase of cat DNA.
Yeah. Gordo, you keep knocking the mic.
Oh my god, he looks like he's trying to have a photo shoot on my end. I'm like, are you trying to be so sexy, Gordo? Yeah, he's just like splayed out. I can't even see your mic. He's behind
I know.
it.
Yeah. The mic's here. This is the mic.
Oh, this is the dog. No.
Yeah, he's just laying in front of me. I can't even put my arms on the desk.
Oh, he looks very like his top half is very light colored, and the bottom, especially after the mic, it seems like it's very dark.
Yeah.
Like they dipped him in black paint.
Hi.
Hi, buddy. Oh, you're distracting me. Stop it.
Stop being cute. Oh.
Yeah, so they test it. Oh yeah, they wanted to rule out if all the cats on the island of PEI had a common ancestor, which would render the DNA test useless. So they really had to do some work to kind of figure out this, I don't know, shit. The test revealed that the hairs did indeed come from the cat, which was owned by Douglas Beamish. Beamish was subsequently convicted for the murder of his wife. The Duguay case marked the world's first use of non-human DNA in a criminal trial, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, the world's first, and it was here in Canada.
That's what it said.
That's awesome.
I know.
We're number one.
We used a cat DNA? Question mark. While the forensic science of testing cat and dog hairs had been firmly established and studied, it was an unknown science up until that point. Which makes sense. We've just been developing shit so fast this last 100 years that we can barely keep up with it.
Yeah.
But the next quote definitely reminded me of the O.J. Simpson trial, and with the glove thing and the if it doesn't fit, you must acquit, because his attorney, or the defense attorney? Yeah, the defense attorney for Doug Beamish, the accused, argued that, quote, without the cat, the case falls flat.
Oh my god, stop making things rhyme. It's just annoying.
What? You can't possibly have this evidence, and if you do, I'll make a rhyme about it. Yeah.
Break it down. Drop a beat. Come on.
Not gonna save ya. Because no, that didn't help his client, who was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 18 years to life. Yeah. So,
because that was her bloody jacket or her bloody bag that they found the cat hairs in, right?
Yes, her jacket was found with cat hairs on it, and blood, I believe. So while I don't know if I can't remember now if they found the actual body, it was definitely by the time they found the jacket and the body and stuff, they were like, yeah, this doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
I think Gordo is your new co-host for the podcast. I feel like I'm getting pushed off the desk. Hi, buddy.
I'm listening, Mommy. He's beautiful. I wish I had that video going, actually. He's being super cute.
Hey, buddy. Are you grumpy? You wanna look here? Look at the camera. Make eye contact with the camera. Look. Say hi.
Oh, my camera's dirty. So as far as that one goes, he was been in jail. Then in 2024, last year, he was granted unescorted temporary
No.
passes from custody after a parole board of Canada hearing.
We're too nice.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's tough. 2024, it's been 30 years since this happened. But
it's still murder.
It's true, and her sister was still quite upset that this happened and adamant that he does not deserve to come back to Prince Edward Island or get out for any amount of time. She, mentioned how he Shirley left behind 5 children who now have children of their own who never knew their grandmother, and how it's very unfair that Beamish can experience things that Shirley can't. She said he's still breathing, he's living, his family can go and talk to him, they can touch him, they can hug him, but our family were left with her stone. So that was the story of Shirley Duguay.
Yeah. So you said he had a history of like abusing spouses and that kind of thing too. So it wasn't like a one-off like accidental murder or crime of passion
more like
thing.
a circumstantial.
Yeah, he had like a history of violence and then he killed a spouse. So yeah, I don't think he should get out at all. Like that's not somebody that I think could be rehabilitated. That's a little
it's
much,
tough,
right?
It's definitely tough. I don't think we'd ever understand where the family's coming from in those cases. But at the same time, like when you hear about it, you're like, no, nothing is long enough. Or like,
Yeah.
Or at the same time, maybe you're like, well, he's done his penance. It's been this long. It depends. It depends how they are. And like, I've heard different things about how rehabilitated he was or not. I can't remember now if they were like, he's a Reformed Christian, or he wasn't. Like, I really can't remember. I was just like, okay.
It's just like one of those ones where people do no bad at all. They're not capable of it. Buddy,
I was like, I can't look into it further. There's other cases.
Gordo's literally upside down now.
He's acting like he's some sort of model.
I gotta take scissors. Over. He's got so many mats all here on his like front, like tummy and like chest area.
Oh no!
And his little armpits, because he won't let me brush him.
Very stubborn.
I gotta give him a haircut. Gotta give him the world's worst haircut. Just me grabbing all the little knots out of his hair and trying to cut them out.
Yes. Sometimes with the hair, Pat's like, Fenrir's, like when his paws grow the hair between them in the wintertime, they get really long through his pads and stuff. But other than that, like, it's pretty normal. His hair grows the same. So I'm always like, we don't get him shorn or anything. He couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes he's like, like, I don't know, forget. Like he was gonna say, like, whatever. Dogs, they're weird. If we try to like do our dog's nails, he just like freaks out. I think that's what I was gonna say. Just like,
Gordo doesn't normally like me even touching his chest, so I'm trying to get him more used to me touching his chest so that when I do try and cut it, it'll be a little easier, and so far he's doing better.
For sure. So well, I think that's one of the things too, is Pat will like play a game kind of with our dog almost, where he's like goes to touch his paws, and then the dog will bring his paws
Yes.
away. And so, yeah, no wonder I have a hard time cutting his nails. He keeps trying to grab his paws away.
Yeah.
Yeah, dick. I think this is my last. Yeah. I had also ended up on two of the bird ones. Oh, the birds were the heroes of the day.
Buddy, Gordo, you can't do that. Come
Good,
on,
good.
go.
Where is his head?
Right here.
He just doesn't want to move. Wow.
No. Buddy.
That was weird. I thought he was making that noise because he was mad. Or no,
No,
he's just
well,
like,
he
nope.
was trying to like knock the drink over.
Oh.
Like, buddy.
Gordo, you're just tired. You just need a snack and a nap. Okay, I just have one more technically, Mr. Gordo.
You're being cute but annoying tonight.
Excuse me. He looks like
Just trying to...
roadkill.
You ready? You're probably gonna freak out. Okay, 3, 2, 1. He's like, fuck you do. Go, go. Don't try and bite me. Go. He did try and bite me. He snapped at my face. He was like,
oh, I thought he was comfy. I don't know.
No, because he kept trying to stretch out, and then he was hitting it. Oh god, there's cat hair all over my mic.
Yes, he was kind of all up in your grill.
I know. There, much better.
Oh god.
Oh, cat pets. In this animal-themed
Oh my god.
true crime episode, it's just like gotta be all up in my business.
Yes, it's very fitting that we have a catastrophe, a catastrophe on our trying to record. No. Anyway, it was just, I thought Gordo was just kind of laying there for a minute, but yeah, he can be kind of disruptive.
Yeah. Now I can hear him doing stuff in the living room.
No. Okay, Gordo. I only have one more tale for you. This is the sad tale of Danielle Van Dam, who was a 7-year-old who vanished in 2001. And the amount of cases that came out in 2001 that get overlooked is crazy. We could do a whole segment. Yeah. I listened to one today on a podcast that was like, talking about why we always have to take off shoes in the airport. And they were like, oh, because the shoe bomber. And I was like, I'm sorry, the what now? And it was like someone who tried to bomb the same year as September 11 attacks. And so, like, although we all take our shoes off now, like, it wasn't even successful. And there's really not that much risk from our actual shoes. They're like, it's mostly an American thing. And I was like, oh no, don't you worry. We do it in some Canadian airports too now, thanks to you guys. Like, because we do everything the same as the Americans.
Because it's... Yeah, the whole thing with the liquids too, wasn't it? Because somebody was like had a dismantled like liquids or something that they were gonna do, and then they were gonna assemble it on the plane, like pour the chemicals into each other or something, and then so that's why they came up with the 100 or 1 liter or whatever, because it's not enough of like.
Oh, you should hear the Americans talk about it. They're like, we can't have it more than 3.4 ounces. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Is that easier than saying 100 milliliters? Yeah. Because it seems harder to remember. But no, it's crazy. Right? I guess they don't do it in a lot of places. And the only reason, apparently, we've been doing it mostly since 2001 is a guy that tried to make some sort of a bomb that had to do with his shoes. And though it did not effectively go off, we still make people take their shoes off at the airport. And I was like, this is craziness.
Yeah.
Why do we all live like that? I mean, like, if I'm, talking about TSA and how crazy it is, there was Night Classy podcast did a really good episode where one of them, her segment was on the TSA and how, it's supposed to cover stuff, but like how much it actually is effective. Like, how many crimes it stops kind of on the reg versus like how much time it wastes for the rest of us. And it was like fascinating. I was like, whoa.
I'm sure it probably stops a lot of minor things and less
Maybe.
often is stopping like major actual sort of like plots to take down a plane or something. It's probably
Right. It stopped my daughter from bringing on her freaking Swiss Army knife because she didn't realize that wasn't something you could take through TSA. Just like when I hadn't gone to a concert in a while, I didn't realize I wasn't allowed to bring my purse that wasn't see-through. Like, sometimes it's just like, well, at that point I was like, I guess I could have told you that maybe a knife wasn't gonna go on, but I didn't think you were gonna pack it. Okay, so this one is unfortunately a young daughter, so obviously I can relate. Unfortunately, she was 7 years old when she vanished in 2001 on Friday, February 2nd, 2001 from sunny San Diego County, specifically the Sabre Springs neighborhood.
I think I
So in
came
the evening,
across this one.
Okay. I know. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I came across them too. Like, I guess we did kind of do mostly animals, which there were so many, surprisingly. I don't know. So her dad stayed home with the 3 kids, Danielle and her 2 brothers, while the mom, Brenda, went out with her friends to a bar. And dad puts her to bed at about 10:30 p.m. and goes to bed himself, I think shortly thereafter, not too long. And then the next thing we know, mom comes home at about 2. She kind of noted a security light was flashing and had closed the garage side door, but doesn't really think anything of it. And she's chatting with her hubby and her friends from the bar for about 30 minutes, and then they go to bed. So an hour later, the dad wakes up. There's a security light flashing again. And he then gets up and closes the sliding door to the backyard and goes back to bed.
Okay.
They did not notice until morning that Danielle was gone, and they called the police about 9:39 in the morning. This is why we're all helicopter parents now, because we're terrified. No.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to blame them. I'm just like, oh, so scary. Searches stretched out across the area. Suspicions happened to fall on a neighbor whose name was Dave Westerfield, who was seen packing up his RV and almost actively avoiding the searches when they came around. So they thought that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like being sus, I guess. The, quote, Laura Recovery Center assisted in organizing the search, and a Danielle Recovery Center was set up in a real estate office in Poway to coordinate the searching. Finally, on February 27th, 2 searchers found her nude, partially decomposed body near a trail in Dehesa, California, an unincorporated town east of San Diego. Some searchers had decided to search the Dehesa Road area near the trail after detectives discovered traces of Daniel's blood in David Westerfield's motorhome. Because Dehesa Road was a possible route, yes, Westerfield could have taken to get to the desert.
Damn.
Yeah, they did find some blood, which I have a little bit more on later. It's just not all in order. Because of the condition of the body, the coroner was unable to determine the cause of death or whether she was sexually assaulted and had to use dental records to confirm her identity, end quote. That's unfortunate. They didn't find her very soon after.
Yeah.
But, like, they found tons of evidence, it seems like, in his motorhome, and like on her body and stuff too.
That's
Um,
good.
yeah, blood in the motorhome. I think blood on his clothes. They found the hairs of a dog, and those were the ones that eventually tied it specifically back to her family dog, because they figured it was on her PJs and then transferred into like his motorhome.
Okay.
But although they had found other traces, some of it could have been explained away because they had just been in his house actually days before, because she was selling Girl Scout cookies.
Uh,
I almost said Girl
yeah.
Guides because that's what they are here, and it's basically the same. But like,
Yep.
yeah, it like, so they had come to the door, and her mom was like, "Oh, I want to see your kitchen, how the remodeling's going." So they had been in his house recently.
Yeah. That's the thing. If
Yeah.
it's not a stranger or whatever, and it's somebody that you have had contact with or been in their house, it makes
So
it
much harder to
harder to
convict.
tie it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
tie it back to an actual like crime, not just, oh, they were in your
Yeah.
house at some point. That's why their fingerprints are here. That's why this is here.
Oh yeah, it's like especially bad if they're actually family or friends, and then you really have a hard time
Yeah.
differentiating. Um yeah, so Brenda had wanted to see how the kitchen remodeling was coming along, but blood was found on his clothes and in his RV, and he was put under surveillance and eventually on February 22nd put under arrest, pleaded not guilty, and the trial commenced on June 4th of 2002. He was sentenced to death for abduction and murder on August 21st of that year.
Damn.
Yeah, some other quotes from the area. Drivers recall the crime when they drive over the Danielle Van Dam Memorial overpass on Interstate 8 at 2nd Street in El Cajon. I think of Danielle Van Dam and people see the sign and know the location where her body was found, said former San Diego County District Attorney Paul Pfingst. It's like Pfingst. Pfingst?
Oh,
Pfingst? It's a tough one.
something.
Pfingst remembers the day the 7-year-old's body was discovered off Tehesa Rose, about 5 miles from the Memorial Overpass. He said, "I've never in my career seen a case where someone has actually gone into a home, taken a child out of bed, and taken that child back to his home, sexually abused, and taken the child away, killed the child, and dumped the body," said Pfingst.
Yeah.
Westerfield already had been arraigned in court on kidnapping and murder charges the day before Danielle's body was located by volunteer search teams. And the discovery of the body meant that there would be no plea bargain in the death penalty case, and a plea deal was closed, according to Pfingst. And this was, I thought, interesting. He said, "It was minutes before the time that I was about to make a deal with the defendant through his lawyer for the return of her body, and my being notified that the body had been discovered," Pfingst said.
Good. I'm happy he wasn't
Right.
able to get any lesser charge for the return of her remains or anything like that. Oh,
Right, when he may not have even have given them up, and then they found her.
yeah.
The 72-year-old was moved off death row in March of 2024 as part of the phasing out of segregated death row units as part of Proposition 66. So he now resides at High Desert State Prison, but he's like 73, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hope somebody accidentally stabs him.
Right?
I hope somebody in the shower and accidentally stabs him with their shank toothbrush.
Ay. Yeah, and like I had also run across the one with Bud the I think that's the one. Bud the bird. Bird the bird.
Yeah.
Oh no, there was too many.
There was Bud the bird and Bird the bird and some duck. We don't know the name of.
Yes. I guess. Oh yeah, Bud. Yeah, Bud, who was the owner of Martin Durham. He came across in mine, and I did laugh. There were some interesting parts to the story where they're like, the birds recounting the whole, like, they didn't have much evidence to go on before the birds started
Yeah.
recounting the argument and stuff. Like, it was weird because they had weird letters from like the wife that was like, "Oh, take care of the kids," and I've been a bad person, but like obviously this isn't a murder
Yeah.
suicide. No, but you know what I mean.
Weird.
And then yeah, I was like, her ex was Christine Keller, which made me laugh because I know there was a Chris Keller on HBO's Oz, but she's the ex that took
Yeah.
the parrot in and then was like, I know to hear them talking about like that's I get chills to hear it. And like you said, he was a filthy bird, foul mouth, and
Aw.
had 400 words of vocabulary. Um, oh, what I thought was weird, when it wasn't on the first listicle, but when looked into that case a little bit more, it said they got there, they saw he had suffered 5 gunshot wounds and she had 2, and they were like, oh, they're both fucking dead, right? And then after like however many minutes or almost an hour of assessing the scene, it said that it was an hour later after they got there, they were trying to get the dog out of the home, that they thought Glenna might seem to be breathing, and that's when they figured out that they should check her pulse. And as soon as he touched her, that
Oh,
her eyes
damn.
flew open and her body jerked, and she said, "What are you doing?" So like,
Oh
I
my
guess she was
god.
like, I think she was like, yeah, like if she tried to kill herself after she killed her husband, right, to like complete the
Yeah.
murder suicide, I think she fucked up, and then when she was alive again and they found her and she was like, holy fuck, I'm still here, she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, that
Damn.
is
They didn't
messed
check
up.
their pulse. They didn't.
I don't think the
Wow.
one source
They're
I
just
found said that,
processing the scene and just like,
yeah, for
oh
like an
shit.
hour. Isn't that fucked
Wow.
up? Oh, so crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny how you'll get different things and then they were like, you can fuck off and give me life in prison. That's her details. But like, I'll listen to something and then I
Yeah.
almost won't listen to it on another podcast. I'll be like, oh, I've heard this one. And then I'm like, no, you should listen to it. You don't know how another podcast is gonna cover it or what
Yeah.
anecdotes they might enter in. And yeah, so sometimes I find that fun. But like, yeah, even just hearing you tell some of the stories I heard a little bit about, I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Crazy stories, man.
Yeah, there's a lot more out there.
Oh yeah. Like people
Yeah.
coming back as ghosts to almost solve their own crimes and shit like that, if you believe it. It's
Yeah. On
pretty
mine,
nuts.
I think it had a couple things about like etymology and bugs and stuff again. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, damn.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So it's like,
fun.
oh, more to come back to if we want.
Oh yes, bug crimes.
Yeah,
We
you're
should.
bugging me out.
Oh shit. Well, I think we decided next week. Oh yeah. Um on
I
something
already
that
forgot. I don't have it in
I
front of
looked at
me.
my notes. I was like,
Okay.
it's resurrection / near death crime. Well, we decided maybe
Yeah.
to do with the Easter was coming
Easter.
up, so give me your near death experiences, baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be fun. And if you can't get enough of us, there will be there's not only the bonus whole episode about haunted battlefields, but kind of a sequel to that because I just couldn't stop talking, and the first one was almost 2 hours, so then we recorded the rest, and yeah, we'll have that up on
Yeah.
Patreon, and that's why we're a little behind this week, but we'll get going on next week's episode and donate on Patreon, y'all, and keep it cryptic.
Yes. Yeah, thanks for listening. Bye bye.
Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon. Cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your host making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic.